The Starwalkers had narrowly escaped the silent ship, but the mystery of the ship's scream haunted them long after they left its shadow. They returned to the Vanguard, shaken but determined to uncover the full story behind the ship. They could still hear the scream in their minds, echoing through the void like a warning that could never be forgotten. Captain Alara paced the bridge of the Vanguard, her eyes fixed on the distant stars. The crew had tried to put the incident behind them, but the knowledge that something ancient and terrifying still lay in the heart of the galaxy kept them restless. "It's not over," Alara muttered under her breath, more to herself than to anyone else. "That ship, it's not just haunted by its past. There's something more. Something still alive." Zane, the tech expert, nodded in agreement. "I've been running simulations. The energy readings from the silent ship are unlike anything I've ever seen. It's almost as if the ship is drawing power from something beyond our understanding." But no one could explain the scream. It wasn't just a sound, it was a cry from a long-dead civilization, a message from the void. The scream, they realized, was a warning of something that still lived within the silent ship, something ancient and deadly. Captain Alara knew they couldn't leave it at that. The mysteries of the universe could not remain unsolved, especially when they were so close. She gathered her crew and made the decision: they would return to the silent ship, and this time, they would uncover its secrets once and for all. The journey back was long, but the crew was more prepared. They had studied the silent ship's last known location, and using the Vanguard's advanced navigation systems, they managed to track it down. The ship was still drifting in the same place, surrounded by the dark expanse of space. As they approached, the same eerie stillness settled over the Vanguard. It was as if the universe itself had gone quiet, holding its breath. The silent ship loomed in the distance, just as it had before, its eerie glow flickering in the darkness. But something was different. The scream, the agonizing wail, had stopped. A deep silence had taken its place. The Starwalkers carefully boarded the ship once more. The silence inside was deafening, far more suffocating than it had been before. The walls seemed to close in around them, and a strange unease filled the air. They moved quickly, heading straight for the command center. But as they neared the heart of the ship, they felt a change, a growing energy in the air. It was subtle at first, like a ripple through the fabric of space itself. Then, they heard it, a whisper, barely audible, but unmistakable. "Help, me." It was a voice, faint and broken, echoing through the empty halls of the silent ship. The crew froze. It wasn't the scream they had heard before, but it was just as chilling. "Who's there?" Alara called out into the darkness, her voice trembling. The whisper grew louder, more insistent, as if it was drawing closer. "Help, me. I can't breathe." The crew rushed toward the command center, their hearts pounding. They entered the room, and before them, the flickering console came to life again. But this time, the images were clearer, more vivid. They saw the face of the creature, the one they had glimpsed before, its twisted, unnatural form staring back at them. Its glowing eyes seemed to pierce through them, full of anguish and pain. And then, a new image appeared, the silent ship, engulfed in a swirling mass of cosmic energy, surrounded by glowing, pulsating tendrils that seemed to reach out, pulling the ship toward a dark void. The creature was at the center of it all, its mouth open in a silent scream. Zane's voice broke through the tension. It's not just a ship. It's a prison." Captain Alara's eyes widened in realization. The silent ship wasn't just drifting through space. It was carrying the creature, the one that screamed. It wasn't the ship's scream we were hearing. It was the creature's. The ship was its prison, and the scream was its plea for release. The crew stood frozen as the full weight of the truth dawned on them. The silent ship had once been a vessel of an ancient civilization that had discovered something far beyond their understanding. They had uncovered a terrible, dark force, an entity that could not be controlled. In their desperation, they had tried to contain it, trapping it within the ship. But the creature's anguish was too much, and its screams echoed across the galaxy. It wasn't just a ghost ship. The silent ship was alive. It had been holding the creature for millennia, its only purpose to contain the darkness that threatened the very fabric of the universe. The scream was the creature's cry for release, and if it was freed, the consequences would be unimaginable. Elara looked around at her crew. "We can't let it go. We have to stop it from escaping." But before they could act, the ship trembled violently. The lights flickered, and the walls began to shake. The creature's voice filled the air, louder now, its anguish turning to rage. "Help me. Release me." The ship's hold on the creature was weakening. The silent ship was no longer just a vessel, it was becoming a gateway, a portal that threatened to tear open the universe itself. With no time to waste, Elara and her crew raced to the control panel, trying desperately to re-establish the ship's systems and prevent the creature from escaping. But the creature was growing stronger, its power ripping through the ship. The walls cracked and buckled under the strain, and in that moment, the Starwalkers understood. They were not just fighting to save themselves, they were fighting to save the galaxy from an ancient evil that had been locked away for too long. With one final push, the crew managed to seal the silent ship's core. The creature's scream reached a deafening crescendo, then abruptly stopped. The ship fell silent once more, its dark energy contained, but the danger was far from over. As the crew made their way back to the Vanguard, Elara glanced at the stars in the distance. The silent ship drifted once again in the void, its secrets still waiting to be uncovered, its mysteries still unsolved. But the Starwalkers knew one thing for sure: some ships were better left to drift. Some legends were best left to fade into the stars. And the scream of the silent ship would echo forever in the hearts of those who had heard it.